Are there things in your life that you're wanting to do, but you don't do them because you don't start? You don't start because you look too far ahead. You look so far ahead that you feel like it's impossible. So we never take that first step. So many times in my life, this has happened where I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to achieve something. There was a certain goal, a certain destination, but I looked too far ahead. And because I looked too far ahead, I was afraid of just taking that first initial step. So I never took that step. Until one day I realized that we need to take that step, that we need to start. And if we don't start, then we're never going to get anywhere. And I realized this certain metaphor because there was a particular day I was going on a hike, and there were certain points of destinations in that hike that had nice viewpoints, right? Beautiful landscapes. And they were the goal. They were the goals to get to those points. And I realized that there was a way for me to get to those points faster, but I wouldn't have enjoyed certain scenery along the way to get there. There was actually a way that I could drive closer to the viewpoint to get straight to that destination. And I realized when I did do that, when I did choose to get closer to the viewpoint, see the viewpoint, and not really earn it, not really have that struggle and that challenge and that time to actually get to that viewpoint and feel like finally I've arrived at my destination. So this lesson that day told me that I needed to really take my time and enjoy the journey towards the destination, because that really allows us to appreciate it. We feel satisfied when we get to that viewpoint. And I realized that in life, we just always want that shortcut. We always want that easy road. We just want to get to the destination. We just want the 3-step formula to achieve what we want to achieve. We don't want this long, hard road of struggle and challenge. We don't want to do all the hard work. We don't want to put in all the time. We just want the quick and easy process. We just want the pill to take that's going to quickly make us feel good or quickly take away our problems. We want fast food, right? We don't want to go and get the ingredients and take it home and spend time cooking it and flavoring it. We just want to do things fast. So we often pick to do things fast, right? Because we have a short attention span, and this day and age, we just want to do everything a lot quicker, and we don't want to take time. It's very hard for us to read a book. It's very hard for us to watch some long form content like perhaps this video, right? So there's this buzz about fast videos, fast food, fast, information on TikTok, or fast things on Netflix, quick shows, instead of watching something with depth, right? Something with meaning, something that's going to educate us and support us. So a lot of us in life, we get caught up in this trap of trying to take the easy road, and this trap of always wanting it to be fast. And see, if we get caught up in this trap, we're never actually going to achieve anything of greatness, right? We're actually never going to do things of a high quality. So I realized that day that I'm going to start my walk, my hike, at a destination and start taking those steps to eventually get to that viewpoint. Because that viewpoint, if we just go straight to it, we don't appreciate it. We don't feel like we've earned it. We don't feel like we've deserved it. The quality of that viewpoint is not as nice. And of course, it's always about the journey, right? The journey to get there, the journey of that growth, that struggle, learning along the way, developing that skill. So never try and rush the process in any aspect of life. And if you see an area of your life you want to head towards, but you're not doing it, it's often because you want it to be a certain way. You want to be perfect. And you're worried and you're looking too far ahead and you're thinking, I'm never going to get there. It's going to take me so long. It's going to take me so long. The metaphor of the walk, you see there's a 3-hour walk to get to a viewpoint. You're like, oh my God, that's going to take me too long. I'm not going to even start this walk. But what is required, right? What is required is you to just take that first step, one step, another step, another step. That's the only thing you can do, really, is take that first step. So we should be doing this if we want to head towards something. We shouldn't fixate on the end goal. If you're creating a project, right? If you're wanting to open up a business, we should obviously have an idea of the end goal, but we should never fixate on the end goal. We need to start taking the steps. And then once we get to that step, we can go, okay, now I'm at this step, I can figure out something now. Then you take another step, then you can figure out something now. Right? So it's like levels. You just start at level 1, then you go to level 2. Then when you're at level 2, okay, what's required at level 2? Okay, now I can go up to level 3. What's required at level 3? Now I can go up to level 4. What's required at level 4? Instead, what we often try and do is just take that elevator straight up, and we're not ready. We're not ready. A pallet can't receive. So we need to take those steps forward. And another big rule that everyone gets caught up in, I need to be so amazing at doing it. Before I start, I need to be exceptional. I remember this was a certain thought I had when I started teaching meditation, or I started working with people one-on-one. Who am I? Oh my God, I need to be amazing. I need to be incredible. I need to be perfect. I need to be fully enlightened. I need to be so healthy. I need to be like looking a certain way. I need to have all areas of my life sorted, like my finances or my relationships. All aspects of life need to be perfect before I can become a life coach, before I can start helping people, before I can start running group workshops or running meditation classes, whatever it may be. I felt like I needed to be this perfect figure. And the truth is that we don't. We don't have to be perfect to start. You just have to be, and this is integrity, right? You just have to be a couple of steps above. Just a couple of steps above the person you're helping. You don't have to be on this pedestal. You don't have to be on the top of the hill. You just have to be a couple of steps. And then from those steps, you're more relatable. You're able to actually grab that person's hand and pull them up with you. Because often if we go too high, right, metaphorically speaking, then we have to help people that are at a higher level. So if you're at a lower level, quote unquote, then you can help people at that lower level because you're more relatable to them. You're more close to them, right? So you can actually grab their hand and pull them up. But if you're already up the top, then you need to be helping people that are closer to the top. And you'll see this in the world. So as we grow, right, as you become better and better, the people that you can support will be coming up with you. And obviously you can bring people up with you, or you can be at a certain level and help people that are already at that level. So as we continue to grow, your clients and your audience and the people that you support are going to continue to grow as well, and you'll be able to help people that are around your level. So it doesn't matter where you are on your journey, it doesn't matter if you're just starting, there's always someone you can help. Always. So we need to start somewhere. Take that first step. What is that first step? If you're wanting to start a workshop, what's the first step? It may be to write down the topic name of your event. What's the name of the event? Then you may want to write what you're going to put in the event. Then you may want to book a venue, right? That's another step. Once you've booked the venue, once you've organized the dates, the time, everything like that. You got the venue, then how are you going to advertise it? Who are you going to tell? Start sharing it. And you can put the structure of the workshop together. There's all these steps you can take, but it may just start with the topic name. What am I going to do in this workshop? Hire the venue. Very simple steps. And when you build those steps, you're building momentum. And momentum is a key factor in success. When we build that momentum, we start to move forward, that forward momentum, it's easier to keep going. It's like a snowball effect. As soon as you start rolling the ball down the hill, it builds, speed, it gets harder to stop, right? And you've got to stay on that momentum. That is one of the keys to pushing beyond your resistance and not letting certain factors get in your way. Another factor is obviously that we want to be perfect, right? And there's this talk about mastery and 10,000 hours to become a master. And that's, of course, if you want to become a master in one particular area of your life, yeah, 10,000 hours might take you about 10 years. But if you want to become competent in a certain area, it doesn't require 10,000 hours. It actually only requires about 20 hours. 20 solid hours, and you can then use that skill effectively. Whether it's learning a language, whether it's learning a certain technique, you can become very competent if you actually put 20 hours into something. And that 20 hours can take over a month, right? You could do 30 minutes each day. 1 hour each day could be 20 days. But this is this 20-hour rule. And I found that for me, it actually quite works. That to become quite decent at something, and it doesn't take 10,000 hours, it actually takes a shorter amount of time. So we get caught up in this, oh my God, I need to be a master, I need to be so perfect. But it only requires a certain short amount for you to be able to actually help people, for you to actually be able to deliver something, to actually be decent at that skill or that craft. It doesn't take years and years. Now, of course, you can become better after years. You can become excellent. That's great too. But we're talking about starting. To start, it does not take a lot. Another key factor about success and about moving forward in life is the simple fact that we get caught up on two ends of a spectrum. One end of the spectrum is we study so much and we don't take any action. So we're just constantly reading, constantly studying, constantly doing courses, programs, learning new skills, getting more certifications, diplomas, whatever it may be. Learn, but never actually taking any action, never actually implementing it into your life, just learning. So a lot of us get caught up in there and we need to go, okay, we've learned enough, now we need to step into the field. It's like learning from the doctor or learning from your coach or learning from your lecturer and then never actually going and using those skills. So say if you were sitting there studying football, study, the hours and hours and hours, but you're never actually stepping onto the field. So the field is where you're actually going to get more learning, more experience, and that's where you can actually grow and develop and become amazing. So we need to get on the field, okay? That's very important. A lot of us aren't stepping into the field. Then there's the other end of the spectrum where a lot of us think that we're amazing, right? And we may have watched one YouTube video and all of a sudden we're a breathwork specialist. Or we've, watched a couple of YouTube videos or listened to one podcast and all of a sudden we've become a master in self-development or an expert in diet and nutrition. Now we're giving advice to people. So there's that other end of the spectrum where we may be thinking that we're stepping up to the plate too soon and we need to take in a bit more knowledge, do a bit more research, get some certifications perhaps if that feels called to you. Learn a bit more about the craft, become a bit more knowledgeable about it. Speak to experts about it. Get all your facts right. It's great to be knowledgeable and know what you're talking about so that you can actually action it at a higher rate. You can become a lot more effective when you action it. So wherever you are, most people sit in that lower end where they're knowledge, but never actually taking any action, never actually stepping onto the field. And some people just step straight into the field, but they're not actually so knowledgeable about the craft. So there's a balance there, all right? There's a balance. So I encourage you to take that first step, to not look too far ahead on your journey, to take that little step forward, learn what you need to, but know that you don't have to be an expert to help people. You don't have to be an expert to be good at your craft, right? Whatever it is that you're wanting to start, you don't have to be amazing. It doesn't have to be amazing as well straight away. It can be something that flourishes over time. You know, a lot of businesses don't really succeed until years later. A lot of successful businesses anyway. So it takes time for that success to come, and we need to really be patient. Not take the instant gratification. Take our time and wait for delayed gratification. Right? Instead of wanting the pleasure now, we want the pleasure later. And this is a huge lesson for life. If you can wait and not want that pleasure, not want that dopamine hit now, you can achieve a lot better results in the long term because you're willing to wait. If you can wait and be patient and delay your gratification for the future, you can achieve a lot. Trust me on that. So take the first step. Have your vision, but take the first step, one step at a time. Don't let that perfection in the future, don't let that end goal, don't let that viewpoint scare you because it's so far away. All you need to do is take a step. Because the longest journeys begin with the one step you take. That's all you can do. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you have a great evening.